Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Jury Question. As always, I'm your host, Chris Onos. Thank you for tuning into the show, and thank you for following me on my social media. Hello, people. How you doing? I hope you're keeping well. I know it's been a while. I've been on set, but definitely I'll be giving you some great amazing shows, which I believe you're watching all the way from Ireland. Anyway, thank you so much for sticking with us. As always, if you haven't got a tea or coffee in your hand, maybe you might want to have one of these one. So let's kick off today's show. But before we do so, let me take a little bit sip of this because I always want to bring this on the show. Without. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. How are you guys keeping? I want to hear from you guys. Look, make sure you're subscribing to the Jury Question YouTube channel. Because we got so many stuff in there. We want you to subscribe. Do subscribe to the show. It's so important, that way you're encouraging us to bring more content for you to watch what we do here in Ireland and around the world. Anyway, coming up on the show, we will be joining my next guest. It's a young, amazing guy. When you talk about boxing, when you talk about faith, when you talk about that energy, transformation of our life from drugs to a different kind of lifestyle, well, this guy is one person you want to listen to. It's amazing when we talk about these on shows most times, where we bring people to share their testimony, especially and when they elevate themselves from wherever level they find themselves and then see themselves in the light way, is this guy. But guess what? Jordan Woods is going to be joining me on the show today, and all the way from Antrim, yes, all the way from Antrim. Join me on the show. We're going to be talking about his journey in the championship, his faith, and all of these. It's an amazing guy. Here's what we have to talk about. Take it away. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. As always, it's a Jury Question. As we promised you today, we got something coming up. Anyway, my very good friend who just won his boxing title is joining us today on the show. Jordan Woods, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. How you doing? All good?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and congratulations.
Thanks for having me.
Congratulations for winning this wonderful bet, the IBA and BFM. Okay, Jordan, let's start with yourself. Yeah, I know you won the belt. I've read, a few things about yourself. I just want what your belief of how your life was transformed, and then we can go into more other areas of your journey. So tell us about yourself.
So it's just that my lifestyle growing up, I was introduced to drinking drugs at a very young age, and I started off just experimenting with these types of things, but then I ended up getting hooked on drinking drugs and partying and all that sort of lifestyle. And it wasn't until about 7 years ago that I got invited out to a wee church by chance, and from that night I gave my heart to Jesus, and my life has been transformed ever since. Don't touch drink, don't do drugs, don't do anything now. And now I'm focused in the boxing and trying to make a small difference in the young people's lives, trying to help them that were maybe on the same path I once was. And I just tell them it doesn't always have to be that way. There's hope. And how I found my hope was through Jesus, and then also through the sport of boxing as well.
Wonderful. The reason why I ask this very question, sometimes people just think when people go into career straight away, maybe they achieve a title, it's just like that. But they don't understand their process, and there's some things that could be triggered that will make them want to change the course. Some people would be brought up in a way that, okay, they want to go into boxing, or they want to go into any sport career, maybe their parents and everything, that way they can get into it. Whereas other people might be going through some other areas of life, and, they find another way to transform their life into something else. So that's the reason why I said, look, let's, talk about your journey first before we, start going to the title, So let's break it down a little bit more. What are the areas you feel boxing really changed your life most in the first place?
Because, see, like I've got addictive personality, okay, and I became a Christian to start with before I started boxing.
Okay.
And see, at the start of my journey, I kind of struggled to get away from my old friend groups and doing the old things I used to do. So, and then boxing was something that I always wanted to do, and it gave me an avenue to stay away from that old company and give me a driving force to stay in the right track through the boxing, because I knew if I was going to get into a boxing ring that I needed to be fit, I needed to be disciplined, I needed to eat the right things, do the right training, and I just believed that like that's what kept me on the right track to boxing. Just looking towards just towards other people that maybe like done the boxing as well. It kind of helped me as well. Give me like I would have watched like everyone watching Rocky and stuff. Even watching Rocky, you watch that, give you a bit of motivation. Like, could I do it? Could I actually do boxing? And like I said, it wasn't until I became a Christian at the age of 23 is when I started boxing, and I never thought that it would take it this far as it did.
Wow. Amazing, amazing. And when did you realize that it is time for you to give up the way of life and to choose the direction you're in now?
It took a lot of hurt and pain. Like my family, I put my family's like through misery because of drinking and drugs. I was going out for a night out. I would have been out for 4, 5, 6 days at a time, not knowing when I was getting my next meal because I was too busy taking drugs. Like, and whenever God gave me this chance, it was like a second chance to live my life all over again and start living for Him, and to say no to the world and all the things that the world gives, like the drinking, the drugs, and the partying and all that there. So it took me to get to my rock bottom, like the very, very rock bottom, for me to realize that that's not the life I want to live anymore. And like I always say to all fighters coming up, like you always need a why. Why are you doing this? You know what I mean? Why? And my why was I wanted to make my family and everyone proud of me because of the stuff that I put them through, like through the drinking, the drugs, and everything like that there. So I always tell everyone, you need a why. Like if you don't have a why, don't do it. That's what I say.
Would you say that your family is a Christian background? Would that be correct?
No,
Correct. It's not
no, not. Like, see, whenever we were younger, we were sent to Sunday school.
Yeah.
But I think, like, my mum was a single parent, so I think it was more get free babysitting for an hour. You know what I mean? Get the kids out, get the kids out, the babysitting for an hour.
True.
Like, get a wee bit of a break. You know what I mean? So it wasn't really, like, my mum would have said us to pray if things went wrong and stuff. But my mum was never, like, a believer. She didn't, like, actually follow, you know what I mean, like, the faith. You know what I mean? But she would have had Christian values, if you know what I mean. But she wasn't a Christian herself, you know what I mean? So it was kind of out of the blue how I became a Christian. But then, see, after I became a Christian, all the ones in my family, they followed. Like my granny now, who I live with, she's now a Christian. She's walking with God. She got saved. She's baptized now. And she's seen the change of God done in my life. So she knows, like, I want that God as well in my life. If God would do that for Jordan, he can do it for anyone.
That's good. And what about your dad as well?
See, that's what I mean. That's part of my testimony. I never really had my dad growing up. So I say that's part of how I like started going down the wrong path, because I didn't have a dad, like a father figure growing up. I was seeking acceptance, but I was doing it in all the wrong ways and ended up in the wrong places. And but it was more just because I wanted the approval of man. You know what I mean? I wanted people to clap their hand at me and say, well done. But at the end of the day, it meant nothing, you know what I mean? Because it would have moved on to the next thing, or the next person has done something. So it was never, I was kept searching for something that wasn't really there. And as it says, it got me into a lot of trouble.
And let's talk about your spiritual life, because I really like when you said, when you were talking about faith, faith is what that really brings you. Yeah. And to be very honest, without a spiritual life, it's very difficult for your faith to work, so you need these both two to come together in order for you to be able to achieve that day-to-day challenges, So how do you combine your faith to what you do? Do you combine it as to what you want to get, or you work on your faith on for it to keep you going as you face more challenges, coming
Yeah.
from your past?
See, I always look, see whenever I think with the boxing and the faith, I always think of Ephesians chapter 5 or chapter 6, where it says that we must put on the armour to fight the good fight. We must put on the armour of God. And it's the same as boxing. There's sometimes that we're going to get beaten in boxing, and we need to be disciplined. And the same as a Christian walk. There's times we're going to get beat down, but it's not about how many times you get beat down. It's about how many times we can get up and keep going. I mean, and but that's what I mean. Like it says in the Bible, a righteous man falls 7 times a day, but he can rise again. And I believe it's the exact same thing with the boxing. You can get beat 7 times, but you can rise again and go again. So I kind of used it. I kind of gelled both of them together. Like even at my last fights and all, my pastor of my church, he was at my fight, and he came into the changing room. And there's a picture of us, I sent it in, there's a picture of us all with our arms around each other, with the Cornerstone Boxing Academy in the background, and we're all sitting praying before I go into the fight. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Wow, amazing to have that kind of, courage of people around you, and that's what you're talking about. Okay, so let's come back to your boxing side of things. You were doing boxing for the last 1 year. You've won four title. How, when you won the championship, where you won four title, would this be your most biggest championship in all your career life when it comes to boxing?
So, like, as I said, I've been boxing since 2016, and I started off as a wee white collar, just a wee fight, okay? And it was kind of a hobby, something I wanted to do. Then I took it further, and then I ended up getting in those title fights and all. I won 4 belts now. That's my 4th belt.
Wow.
So, but I have to say, my favourite one would have to be my first one I ever won, and that was like 3 years ago.
Yes.
And it gave me the opportunity to go back to my old primary school, tell the kids about Jesus, about boxing, and the same type of principle is, if your life's a mess, don't give up. You know what I mean? But there was something special about that last win, was because this same guy that I fought, he beat me. He beat me 3 years ago.
Wow.
He was doing all the talk, doing all this, doing that. But see, in my head, I wasn't going to react to anything. And even before the fight started, he was still trying to throw a wee jab about what he said, and I still didn't react to him. I just looked at him because I knew. It may sound stupid, but I knew I was going to win, because see, the days before the fight, I could just feel my hand getting raised in the air. I don't know why. I just knew that this was time for me to win, and I'm so glad and thankful that God gave me the opportunity to win. But so that last one was probably, it would be up there with one of my favourites, just because the whole background of the story and all, that he beat me before, and then I ended up getting revenge and all. So it was good.
Good positive vibe, And before we let you go, you're doing some coaching as well with Cornerstone Boxing. So can you tell us what are the activities you will do, as you carry on this journey?
Yeah. So see the newspapers, whenever I won my first belt, they done this write-up on me, okay? And it was like, after boxer Jordan Woods has fought his demons, and now God's in his corner, okay? That's what they said, right? And see, from around that time, I said, someday I'm going to have my own boxing club, and I'm going to call it, what am I going to call it? Cornerstone Boxing Academy.
Wow.
The reason it's called Cornerstone Boxing Academy is because Christ is a cornerstone of the faith. And like back in them days, you had to have a cornerstone to build a house.
True.
And without Christ, the cornerstone, like, it'll fall. We all fall. So like, there's more of a meaning to it than just a name. No, people just pick a boxing name for just the sake of it. But mine is to honour Jesus and honour my Saviour, the Lord Jesus Christ, for what He's done in my life. Wow. And like, I've got many opportunities. I got to meet Prince Charles and all. Like after I won my first belt, I got invited out to the mayor's parlour and all, and just different opportunities. And but the most important thing is I get to share my faith. The people, like, and help people with their mental health. Like, there's a guy came into me, he used to be 22 stone, and he ended up, like, coming to me boxing. Now he's had a few fights and all, he's had a couple of wins and all. But it was his whole journey. I seen his whole journey where a guy that couldn't leave the house, to a guy that's going out and fighting in front of hundreds of people, and that's what it's all about. And that's how, like, I'm working from like 7 in the morning right to 9 at night, nearly every day. And then whenever I see stories like that, I'm like, it's all worth it. See if I can help one person change their life and change their habits. You can be saving a life. You can be saving one life. So it's more than just throwing on the gloves and punching each other. There's a lot more to it than just that. So
wow, yeah. Jordan, thank you so much for this wonderful testimony. Before we let you go, what would be your word of advice for those who might be struggling? Because your testimony today will be changing someone's life tomorrow, you know. So what would be, especially for younger people who might be finding themselves in some areas that they can't figure out how they can get out of it?
Yeah, like, see, I always say that it's to do something. See, because like Christian, like I became a Christian, but in a way I need something to do as well. I need something that's going to get me up out of bed and go and do some exercise. So what my advice would be is to get into some sort of sports club. May that be boxing, may that be football, may that be rugby, Gaelic, anything. Any sort of sports club that's going to give you a part of a team. Because that's what you need. You need people around you as a team. And you are feeling in an area, you have your teammates to help you to push on. And when you have that accountability, like accountability is so important. See, if you're stuck in a rut and you're stuck in a house by yourself, it's easier said than done. I know that, I've been there. But it would be to get yourself part of a club, part of even a team. Doesn't even have to be. See if it was even just a team where you're always meeting with each other. It's just having that where you're able to share each other's like downfalls and feelings and help each other and build each other up. So yeah, it would definitely for my it's because like see the sports, it's all to help with your mental health. And see when you're going out and you're working really hard, training and stuff. So yeah, I would say get into a sports club of some type.
Amazing. Jordan, thank you so much for coming on the show. And for our viewers who are watching or tuning in, where can they find you? Have you like YouTube or any social media platform?
Yeah, I've just got a Facebook page, Cornerstone Boxing Academy. And on Instagram, it's just JW Boxing.
Oh, welcome back everybody. I'm sorry, this is where we're gonna wrap up the show. Jordan, I'm sorry. Jordan, thank you so much for coming on the show. We want to wish you best of luck today. And also I want to wish all my guests who are part of the show today, and also to Jordan Woods. Thank you all three for being four for being part of today's show. And we wish you guys all the very best. For my viewers at home, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and make sure you give these guys a thumb up. Only on the Joe Request Show. Till we come your way next week, take care and God bless. I'll see you soon. Hope I sing it out right. Anyway, have a great week. Take care. Bye for now.